Hey, bro, so you feel like a zombie? You feel lethargic? You feel like you can't focus on anything? You feel like you are struggling to pay attention in your class? You're struggling to complete your assignments? You're struggling with your work? And then you see these other people who are super focused. They're hyper focused, They're ready, they're going, they're working hard. And like, how do they do these things? Well, bro, what I can tell you is that I was exactly like that. I had the absolute worst, like, brain fog. I felt like a zombie, right? When you wake up and you're tired, but you're like, I just slept. How can you wake up tired after sleeping? That doesn't even make sense, right? So I'm pretty sure that you can relate to that, and most people can. And that's like almost 90% just because your diet sucks. My diet sucked, really. So today I'm gonna just go over this concept of actually intermittent fasting and changing your diet, right? So this is something that I've really been working on in the past 2 or 3 months. Um, I just recently started, and I've just felt a complete difference in my focus and my work. So you understand the concept of intermittent fasting. It's quite a popular topic right now. Basically, what this means is that, let's say you go to sleep at like 10, right? You wake up, you in the morning, and you don't eat. You just skip breakfast. Straight up skip breakfast. Like, we've been lied to by them that we need to have breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. But at the end of the day, that was just like a marketing campaign to actually make more money. So really question your beliefs in certain things. But basically, they lied to us. They lied to our parents. They lied to our grandparents. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It's not, right? So basically, the point is to skip breakfast and then only eat at around midday. So you're gonna have to kind of see what works best for you. But right now, for me, like my schedule, I only eat the first time between 1 and 2 p.m., right? And then I eat my next meal at between 7 and 8 p.m. So I've got roughly like a 5 to 6 hour eating window, right? So basically, you want to restrict all of your eating between those hours. Now, of course, you might think that you need to like go crazy and just stuff yourself with like thousands of calories, but that's not necessary. And many people would say that you can eat like junk food, like McDonald's, as long as it's within your window. But come on, we're trying to be superior. We're trying to be masculine. We're not trying to be like, the 90%, the 80% of the other people on earth, right? So during your window of eating, you eat healthy food, you eat good food. Okay. So again, the concept of fasting is to restrict the time in which you eat. So in that example, from 8 all the way till 1 or 2 p.m., I'm not eating. So you could kind of adapt something similar to that. Of course, you have to align that with your schedule, but I found that skipping breakfast is the best possible way to do that. And so when you skip your breakfast and you're in a fasted state, it's really interesting how much more focus you have. You kind of use that hunger and that drive of like wanting food to make you more productive. And if we kind of like take it back like, 1,000 years, it kind of makes sense, right? Because our ancestors, what would happen? They would be super hungry, they would wake up, and they would go hunting. Hunting might take the whole day. It's not like they caught like 1,000 cattle and just like, had stockpiles forever. Every day they had to go out hunting, looking for food. So we still have that primal mind in us, even though we have food that we have constant like availability to anything we want, whenever we want. And that's actually not right. Our bodies haven't really adapted to that convenience of food, we're still living with a primal body, a primal mind. So we work best on an empty stomach, pretty much. It gives us more drive, it gives us more focus, right? So I really encourage you to try it for a month at least, and just see how you feel. Comment below if you when you experience any change or what happens, right? And so on the fasting kind of diet, what I actually eat and what I've learned was that if you're gonna go primal, do it all the way, right? So I'm fasting for what, 20 hours or like 18 to 20 hours, right? And then on top of that, I only eat what my ancestors ate. I just eat meat. So try fasting like that, where you do your fast and then you just eat meat, right? Meat and with some salt, maybe with some nuts or vegetables. Um, right now, I'm only eating meat, and so if you think about that, we don't know what they put in our food, right? So the best option is to just eat like single product food or single item food, right? Meat is meat. An apple is an apple, right? So if you have to like read a label to figure out what you're eating, then you shouldn't really be eating that, right? So stick to single ingredient foods and do eat only during your fasting window, right? So technically, I eat twice. I have lunch and I have dinner. Okay. And so you might be thinking like, why or what are some of the reasons that this actually helps or why it's so good? If you really want to watch a super in-depth like video about the science, you could go to Andrew Huberman's channel. He really explains like the science, the deep science of all these things. So I'm just kind of give you like bro science or kind of like a simple way, right? So one thing that happens when we do like intermittent fasting is an accelerated fat loss. So of course, if you're someone like me who's trying to lose weight, that really, really helps a lot. But what I've also heard from some people who are like skinny, they found that actually they increased in their weight, right? So that's kind of strange, right? But actually, what happens is actually your body is trying to adjust towards its optimal state. So if you're overweight, your body naturally wants to lose weight to become optimal. And if you're skinny and you're underweight, your body wants to increase in weight to become optimal, right? But when we eat all this junk food, it actually deregulates our body. And so our body struggles to actually become optimal or become its best self, you could say. This is also accelerated by eating meat because meat is primal. So another thing is improved insulin sensitivity. So again, I'm not like a doctor or a scientist, but basically insulin is one of the leading things to your diabetes or heart disease and things like that, because it basically um, it increases your blood sugar, right? So when you actually go fasting and eat carnivore or eat like primal, you actually have much better control on your insulin. And so we found and seen that there have been like many stories of people who have diabetes or have these kind of chronic diseases, but actually after fasting and eating in this diet, those symptoms are like severely reduced. Okay. So again, just be careful when trying these things. I definitely advocate for them, but see what, if you have one of these diseases, you might want to just, take it step by step and see how you feel over time, right? So another thing that actually happens when we do fasting is increased hormone production, right? And again, that kind of goes back into losing weight. It actually helps in muscle growth and overall your like body composition. Again, what I was saying, the fat person gets skinny and the skinny person gets fat. Like you try to become optimal in your body composition, right? Um, Otherwise, we have reduced inflammation. And again, this also goes towards controlling your insulin levels. And actually, can you believe how much they lied to us? you know, they've been telling us for years that eating these grains, eating pastas, eating these kind of things are actually healthy for us. But they've just been lying to us all this time. Because literally, all of those things are the reason that people are getting fat and people are struggling with these chronic diseases. And obviously, like, sugar is the absolute worst. Like, stop poisoning yourself, bro. Seriously, stop poisoning yourself. Sugar is poison. Like, that stuff will kill you. So we really need to just eliminate all sugar from your diet. Like, just get rid of everything. Now, you might need to take it step by step because sugar is actually a drug, right? I saw some studies. I think it was Andrew Huberman again. So, again, check his podcast, it's amazing. So, they said like sugar gives you the same mental like ideas or like it changes your brain in the same way that like a drug addict has, right? So you're addicted to sugar and sugar is legal, but drugs are illegal and they're dangerous, but they have the same effect. So like they're literally giving us sugar as a drug which is like literally free, or I mean you got to pay for it, but it's legal to have sugar. Sugar should be illegal, like really. Sugar is the cause of most deaths in the world. Like, can you believe it? But they still haven't banned sugar. So it just blows my mind. Like, it's crazy. So again, just be careful with those substances. And then, of course, the great benefit that I kind of led with here was enhanced brain function, right? So when you're on this fasting and when you're actually eating healthily, you actually have improved brain health and cognitive function, what they're saying. So again, try it out. I definitely suggest you try this for like a month. Go into more detail. 100% watch Andrew Huberman. He's got like, if you're into the science, it's like a 2 hour podcast. So maybe you don't have time for that, but definitely get more research and actually try to improve and try to add these different concepts to your life. So, bro, I hope that you had some value and you found some value in this, and I'll see you in the next one.